Good afternoon. My name is Hamid Gadaki, and I'm a Senior Project Manager at Times Group Corporation. On behalf of the principals of Times Group and Life Construction, I welcome you and thank you for attending this press conference organized by the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation to announce a select number of CMHC direct finance projects under the Rental Construction Financing Initiative, RCFI program. I would like to begin by introducing our distinguished speakers for this afternoon. We're grateful to have with us the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada and the Minister of Finance. Also joining is the Honorable Arif Virani, the Minister of Justice, Attorney General of Canada, and Member of Parliament for Parkdale High Park. Our final speaker will be Her Worship, Olivia Chow, the Mayor of our great city. As a community builder, Times Group has a long history of developing and constructing a variety of housing types in the Greater Toronto Area. Over our 35-year history, we've seen our region grow and industry face its share of challenges. The post-pandemic era has been especially difficult, with escalating construction and financing costs impacting viability of projects. These conditions have resulted in diminishing housing starts and record high rents, emphasizing the need for programs such as the RCFI to help deliver much needed below market rents in the new purpose-built rental product category. An example is right behind us. A sustainable 389-unit, 39-story high-rise rental building in the heart of Midtown Toronto. The RCFI program has provided low-interest financing for the project and resulted in the creation of 148 below-market rental units scheduled for delivery in mid to late 2025. It takes a large team to bring such a project to life, and we want to take this opportunity to not only thank our partners that help deliver the direction of the project, but also the hard-working trades that execute on this vision. Our contractors work day in and day out through the heat waves of the summer and the frigid depths of winter. Let's give them a round of applause. The announcement today includes other RCFI-funded projects, and I welcome our fellow developers to today's press conference. I would like to now welcome Deputy Prime Minister Freeland to deliver her remarks.
Whoa. Okay, thank you very much for that warm introduction and the warm welcome. And I also want to start where Hamid concluded by really recognizing and thanking the skilled tradespeople whose hands and brains are building these homes Toronto desperately needs. So thank you very much, everyone. And it is really great for me to be here, literally in my neighborhood. I live just down the road off Yonge. I often have to fly thousands and thousands of kilometers for announcements. This one I was able to ride my bike to. So thank you for building homes in our neighborhood, in our city we're so proud of. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we're gathered on the traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. I am thrilled to be in Toronto today with my friend, our Justice Minister, Arif Virani, and my friend, the Mayor of our amazing city, Mayor Olivia Chow, for this terrific announcement. Our government's economic plan is delivering real, concrete action to build more homes faster. We can hear those homes being built right now, and to make housing more affordable. This fall alone, we have taken action to remove the GST on the construction of new rental housing. I've already heard, I've heard from the developers here how much that's going to let you guys build more. We've announced plans to unlock $20 billion in new low-cost financing to build up to 30,000 more new rental apartments per year. We have helped more than 250,000 Canadians save for their first down payment tax-free with the new tax-free First Home Savings Account. We've taken steps to unlock surplus federal land in Calgary, Edmonton, St. John's, and Ottawa to build more than 2,800 new homes, and we're going to be doing more work on federal lands across the country. Next Tuesday, I will be delivering our government's fall economic statement. Our fall economic statement is based on a responsible fiscal plan that allows us to invest in what Canadians need right now. That is why the fall economic statement will be focused on two key challenges: making life more affordable for Canadians and taking further concrete action on housing. We know this is an urgent priority for Canadians, and we believe that at the heart of this issue is supply, supply, supply. This is especially true for the people of Toronto. That's why we know we need to keep acting every single day, every single week, and why, again, I am so grateful to the skilled tradespeople who are building the homes we need. Really, thank you so much. And that is why today I am delighted to announce that we are building 2,644 new rental units across Toronto, including 389 new rental units right here at Yonge and Eglinton at 55 Broadway, 855 rental homes at 373 Front Street East, 484 rental homes at 94 Eastdale Avenue, 390 rental homes at 325 Moriama Drive, 233 rental homes at 1555 Queen Street East, 225 rental homes at 610 Martin Grove Road, and 68 rental homes at 650 Kingston Road. I insisted on reading out that list because each one of those is a really significant announcement, and each one of those is hundreds and hundreds of homes at specific locations across our city. Together, these 7 great new rental projects across Toronto amount to a $1.2 billion investment through the Rental Construction Financing Initiative. This is an investment in the City of Toronto and in the people who rent homes in this great city. The Rental Construction Financing Initiative is now on track to build 71,000 new rental housing units across Canada by 27-28. That is getting homes built for Canadians, getting exactly the kind of housing Canadians need the most built. These new homes will be located close to transit, work, and school. Homes for people getting started in their careers, homes for people raising a family, and homes for people that people of all ages will be proud to call their own. L'annonce aujourd'hui est la preuve que notre plan économique respecte notre promesse de construire plus de logements plus rapidement. Et nous continuerons à respecter cette promesse dans le cadre de notre énoncé économique de l'automne qui sera déposé la semaine prochaine. J'ai hâte de travailler avec nos partenaires de la ville de Toronto et du gouvernement de l'Ontario pour réaliser d'autres projets comme celui-ci pour les gens qui vivent à Toronto et autour du pays. Merci beaucoup et je cède maintenant la parole à mon ami, notre ministre de Justice et aussi une députée comme moi de Toronto, Arif Virani. Arif, over to you.
Thank you so much, Chrystia. It's difficult to hear at times, but it's because we're being drowned out by that beautiful sound of people building housing, which is really quite amazing to see. Thank you, Chrystia, for your words. Thank you for the Indigenous acknowledgement. Je vais aussi ajouter quelques petits mots en français comme une députée au niveau fédéral, comme une ministre dans le cabinet de Justin Trudeau, que je suis tellement content d'être parmi vous autres aujourd'hui pour cette annonce extrêmement importante pour notre ville et pour notre pays. I feel incumbent upon me to perhaps add some Farsi when I'm dealing with such a tremendous Iranian-Canadian success story, which is Times Corporation. But my Farsi is more limited, so let me just say salam and merci for the work you're doing at Times and the work that many developers are doing right around the city to build up Canada. This is a really important announcement, not just for this city, but especially for this city. Affordable housing is a pressing issue for so many that I speak with throughout the city, throughout the country, but also in my own riding of Parkdale High Park. A little bit south of here, I didn't have the luxury of riding my bike like Chrystia. It would have taken me a lot longer to get here. But it's really... She had to go uphill. But it is really critical, and the people that I speak to who are touched by the affordable housing issue are young people. They are low-income families, they are newcomers, they are students, they are seniors. They are anxious because of rising housing costs, and they're anxious because of a lack of supply. As Chrystia said it, with this announcement, we are addressing the lack of supply. $1.2 billion means increased supply of nearly 2,700 units just in the city of Toronto. It means seven critical projects right here in Toronto, and Chrystia listed the exact addresses. But it is important for people that are listening around the country that we're not just stopping with the city that I represent, with the city that Chrystia and Olivia represent. We are taking this plan and this financing literally from coast to coast to coast. So when we talk about over 70,000 new rental units across the country by 2027, 2028, we're talking about the success that the RCFI program holds and the potential that it holds. And why is this important to underscore? It's important to underscore because this is transformative change. I want to reflect, as I was coming here, I reflected back on why I decided to run for office in the first place, back in 2014, back prior to the general election that would take place a year later. And for me, I did it for one fundamental reason, which is to help people who are marginalized, people who are vulnerable, for them to achieve, for them to overcome barriers. I'll be candid with you in saying that I didn't see a prioritization of such people by the government that was in power at that time. I didn't see vulnerable and marginalized people being prioritized. I didn't see people who were racialized, people who made up a religious minority, people who might have come to the country as a refugee, just like me, being identified by that government. When we invest in housing, we are assisting people who are marginalized and people who are vulnerable. Specifically when we insist that those investments go towards targeted rental units that are affordable. Why is that? Because housing is foundational. And what do I mean by foundational? When you have people properly housed, they start to build communities. What they do is they have better economic outcomes. They have better educational outcomes. They have better health outcomes. They have fewer interactions with the criminal justice system. The evidence demonstrates this. Before people roll their eyes and say, there goes the Minister of Justice talking about evidence, I'm not confusing where I am for a courtroom. But what I'm underscoring to you is a fundamental premise about the government of which Chrystia and I partake. Fundamentally, we believe in evidence-based policy. The evidence is tried and true with respect to what housing does in terms of the supports it builds for people. But the other thing we believe in as a government, as a federal liberal government, is we believe in policies that reflect our values. And there's nothing more important than the value of assisting those to find a safe, secure, and affordable home regardless of their life circumstances. That's why this kind of initiative is so important. Thank you. But the important point that I want to leave you with is that this is not just a federal government initiative alone. We need progressive partners at every level of government. We need progressive partners in business, such as the corporations that are gathered here with us today, such as Times Corporation and so many others. But we need those progressive partners at every level. So I want to now turn the mic over to a very progressive partner right here in the city that I call home, Mayor Olivia Chow. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. I'm here also with our local councillor, Josh Matlow, who is very committed in building affordable housing. On behalf of the City of Toronto, Deputy Prime Minister, we are very grateful for the Government of Canada for the CMHC low-cost borrowing, low-cost loan program. Because interest rate being so high these days, having access to good financing is very, very important. So you're seeing a lot of buildings, a lot of rental housing being unlocked and being able to be built. Some of them affordable, others are deeply affordable. And this kind of partnership is extremely important. The City of Toronto have put in some of the projects about $40 million of grants and initiatives to support the rental, affordable rental program, because it's important that some of the fees are waived and some projects require a bit of a grant in order for it to be supported. This morning we've heard something that I think we should all remember. 1 in 10 of people in Toronto rely on a food bank. These are children, families, seniors, veterans. They are the ones that have to go to a food bank in order to have groceries, in order for the kids not to go to bed hungry. Why? A big reason is because of rental housing being so expensive. By the time they finish paying rent, there's not much money left or no money left. So the fact that we are building rental programs, building rental, look at those apartment units, every unit, well, not all of them, but a good percentage of them would provide hope for a whole lot of people, especially those that are deeply affordable. There's a third of the income of the family. They are called rent gear to income program. And in the city, we have over 85,000 households waiting for these kind of deeply affordable housing. So I am awaiting with really, I have faith, I have hope. Next week, I'm going to get myself all tuned in to look for the economic statement, because I believe building affordable housing will provide so much hope for people in Toronto that tonight they're going to bed thinking about, worrying about food because the rental cost is so high. So we are extremely grateful for this program, the low-cost rental program. It is the foundation of the housing program that we unveiled last week. The 65,000 units of rental housing that we unveiled last week at City Council. That is the roadmap. We have the land, we have the people, we have partners, private, non-profit. We are all here waiting, and this is one piece of it. The other pieces are the loans and the grants, because loan is good because but some of them have to be paid back, all of them have to be paid back, but grants and having good land, having incentives are also really important. So I look forward to the economic statement next week. But today, let us celebrate and cheer on these wonderful construction workers. Let's get the building built fast so that people can move in very soon. Yes, we should salute them and thank them. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, distinguished speakers. With the availability of programs such as the RCFI and recent announcements that cut the HST on purpose-built rental housing, our industry needs to reevaluate shovel-ready projects that may have been stalled due to the state of the pre-construction condominium market, and consider proceeding with these projects as at market or below market purpose-built rentals. For our group, we envision the below market purpose-built rental segment to be a growing part of our portfolio. Times Group is proud to work with the federal government as a strategic partner and intends to participate in the RCFI program and 3 other upcoming rental projects along the Yonge Street subway line at Davisville, Finch, and the future Steeles stations. Thank you all for attending, and I would like to close the speaking portion of the announcement and invite Catherine Kaplinskas from Finance Canada, the question and answer moderator, to open the Q&A.
Okay, thank you. Great. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll now go to the question and answer portion. It'll be one question. Welcome to today's press conference qui est à la conférence de presse. It'll be one question, one follow-up. Ça sera une question et une question en suivi. Could journalists please just state their name and their outlets before asking questions? Thank you.
Hi, Oliver Moore with the Globe and Mail. This is a question for the Finance Minister about the Housing Accelerator Fund. The provinces have been pushing back recently at the money flowing directly to the cities. I think Doug Ford called it jurisdictional creep. Why is it important that this money go through to the cities, not through the province's hands? And will your government continue that if, as they've threatened, they pass legislation to stop it?
So I think today's announcement and the building we see all around us is a really good example of how having the federal government collaborate with municipalities can really work and deliver results. And you know, the federal government this year is providing nearly $1.9 billion to projects in the city of Toronto, and they are projects that the people of Toronto need. Having said that, I am really pleased to see the premiers paying attention to municipalities, and given their enthusiasm and their focus on the municipalities of Canada, I would love to see them providing even more support to the municipalities over whom they are proudly asserting their jurisdiction. I think that would be a win-win outcome for everybody.
The second half of my question, would the federal government continue to put the money directly to cities if the provinces pass the kind of legislation they're talking about?
You know, one thing I learned during the NAFTA negotiations is never to answer a hypothetical, but, you know, our government is a rule of law government.
All right, next question. Question.
Hi, Deputy Prime Minister Matthew Bingley with Global News. You mentioned supply, and your fall economic statement coming up. I'm sure you're well aware the mayor just mentioned that 65,000 rental home plan that the city just passed last week. That would require significant funding, about 500 to 800 million a year from the federal government as well as the province. Are you willing to commit to something like that in your update?
Okay, I'm not making any announcements today about the fall economic statement. It's coming up in a week. We do really believe, as you've heard from me, as you've heard from Arif, as you've heard from the mayor, that housing is an urgent issue for Canadians, and that we need to focus on supply. The federal government is doing a lot because we need to do a lot. We lifted the GST on purpose-built rental, and I was just delighted to hear from the builders here that that is changing the financial equation, and they are looking more closely at building rental. So that is fantastic. You're seeing through the RCFI, this is a program that is working, is delivering 2,700 homes in 7 projects around the city, and on track to deliver 71,000 rental units across the country. So we are there, we are building, we believe in it. And we also understand that this is not something that anyone in Canada can do alone. This is about a collaboration. This is about the federal government getting involved It is definitely about provinces getting involved. It is about municipalities across the country getting involved. It is about building. It is also about zoning. And it is about working in partnership with the private sector, with not-for-profits. We're just going to keep on doing that.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not sure if it's back on or not. Okay, cool. Respectfully, I know you're not announcing anything, but you said that you keep talking about just how important rental housing is. So are you not ruling out an involvement in this plan that the city has to build 65,000 units? You know, 2,000 is great. Where's the rest of the 63 that they probably need money for?
I am not making any new announcements today for the fall economic statement. It's coming up in a week. And we are focusing on new purpose-built rental and on affordable rental housing. And we really are putting our money where our mouth is. You see that with the RCFI initiative. Literally around us, you see the apartments that initiative is getting built. We've done it by lifting the GST on purpose-built rental. And we are just going to keep on focusing on using all of the levers, all of the tools in the federal toolbox to get more housing built, and also on working collaboratively with municipalities, with provinces, with the private sector, with not-for-profits.
All right, prochaine question. Next question.
Bonjour, une question pour Madame la ministre des Finances. L'Ontario et Toronto ont monté un groupe de travail sur les finances de Toronto depuis quelques semaines et ils ont répété des appels au gouvernement fédéral pour entrer dans ce groupe de travail. Est-ce que vous allez le faire et si oui, quand?
Nous avons déjà dit que mon sous-ministre, le sous-ministre des Finances du fédéral, participera dans ces conversations. Et je souligne que notre gouvernement fédéral a investi plus dans la ville de Toronto qu'aucun gouvernement fédéral dans l'histoire du Canada. Quand nous étions élus, on arrive à parler un peu de cet an, de 2014, 2015, les élections fédérales quand notre gouvernement était élu. En ce moment-là, le fédéral a investi en 2015 200 millions de dollars. Cette année, nous allons investir 1,9 milliard de dollars et l'année prochaine, on va investir 2,3 milliards de dollars. Plus de 10 fois plus qu'avant. Alors, on est là pour Toronto. Comme vous avez dit, la province est à la table avec la ville. C'est une bonne chose. Nous comprenons la responsabilité constitutionnelle des provinces pour les villes. Les provinces aujourd'hui sont en train de souligner cette responsabilité. C'est une bonne chose et ils doivent aussi prendre une responsabilité fiscale pour les municipalités autour du Canada.
D'accord. Ma deuxième question est par rapport aux banques alimentaires. Daily Bread aujourd'hui parle encore de niveaux records de fréquentation et c'est mois après mois, des nouveaux records sont atteints. Est-ce que le gouvernement fédéral va faire quelque chose par rapport à ces organismes de bienfaisance?
Merci pour la question. Et comme la maire, c'est vraiment un chiffre qui est tragique. Et nous vivons aujourd'hui vraiment une situation tellement difficile pour beaucoup de gens autour du pays, pour beaucoup de gens ici à Toronto. Comme la mairesse a dit, l'abordabilité du logement est un élément clé dans l'abordabilité des vies des Canadiens et Canadiennes et des Torontoises. Alors, on va vraiment faire tout ce possible pour tous les gens dans notre pays, absolument incluant les moins nantis. Et le logement abordable, c'est fondamental pour une vie abordable. C'est pourquoi nous sommes ici.
Next question, question.
Mark McAllister from City News here in Toronto. Beyond housing, obviously that's why we're here today. You're well aware of the financial situation that this city is in with a $1.5 billion shortfall in its next budget. We've spoken about trying to work with one another in the past. Your last meeting at City Hall with Mayor Chow. What can the federal do beyond the housing initiatives to help the city out?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And, you know, as Arif pointed out in his comments, our government is a progressive government. Having a progressive mayor of this city as a partner is a real opportunity for us to do a lot of great things together for this city. And our federal government is here. We are stepping up for Toronto. When we were elected in 2015, the federal government in that year was investing $200 million in the city. This year, in the budget, we have nearly $1.9 billion in 23-24 that are going to the City of Toronto. Already, currently, in the budget, the City of Toronto will get in 24-25 $2.3 billion from the federal government. That is more than 10 times the amount of support the city was getting when we formed government. So we really believe in supporting the city, and we are doing it.
In addition to that, we've asked Mayor Chow a number of times, as well as Premier Doug Ford, about the working group that they've put together to try and assist the city as well. We now know that one of your colleagues from the federal government is at that table. Can you tell us anything about the federal government's involvement?
Yeah, my Deputy Minister, Chris Forbes, is there. It's important to be collaborative. It's important to provide information and to see, you know, to understand what every level of government is doing and our perspectives. I'm very glad that the city and the province have initiated this effort. We have been hearing from provinces across the country an assertion of their jurisdiction over municipalities, and we can see that as also a recognition of the responsibility that provinces across the country have for municipalities, and I would love to see that recognition manifest in more support for the cities.
Next question, question.
Philippe Lamontier avec RDI. C'est ça, vous avez parlé de l'implication du gouvernement fédéral dans les finances municipales de Toronto. Qu'est-ce que peut apporter justement le fédéral pour aider la ville de Toronto à se sortir de ce trou financier? Et puis, sur le plan de construire 65 000 logements, l'annonce d'aujourd'hui semble une goutte dans l'océan. Donc, qu'est-ce que le fédéral peut apporter pour les finances municipales, mais aussi pour la question du logement locatif?
Le fédéral comprend l'importance des villes du Canada. Nous comprenons particulièrement l'importance de la ville de Toronto. Vous avez deux ministres qui sont en même temps des députés de Toronto. Celui qui nous habite, ce sont les comtés qu'on représente, c'est la ville qu'on adore. Et on comprend l'importance aussi de Toronto en tant que moteur économique pour tout le pays. Et c'est précisément pour cette raison que le fédéral est déjà là. 1,9 milliard de dollars qui seront versés à Toronto cette année. C'est beaucoup de l'argent. Et l'année prochaine, on va investir de plus, 2,3 milliards de dollars. Et la contraste avec la relation du fédéral à la ville quand on était élu est très très fort. En 2015, le fédéral a déversé juste 200 millions de dollars. Alors on fait maintenant 10 fois de plus. Notre gouvernement est le gouvernement qui investit le plus dans Toronto dans l'histoire de notre pays. Alors, c'est la réalité. On est toujours prêt à travailler en étroite collaboration avec la maire de Toronto et on apprécie énormément le fait que la ville de Toronto travaille maintenant en étroite collaboration avec la province de l'Ontario qui a la responsabilité directe pour la ville.
And I'd like to hear Mayor Chow on this. Obviously, you were mentioning that low interest loans is a good step. It's a step in the right direction. Grants are also a solution. So where do you see the federal government sort of stepping in on that front? And also they're now at the table for looking at the budget hole for the City of Toronto. Where do you hope the federal government can sort of pitch in?
CMHC has a multitude of programs. The low interest loan one is one of them that we're talking about today. They also have a rapid housing initiatives which builds supportive housing. They just finished round 3. Hopefully there will be round 4 with a lot of investment in there because there are many housing providers, especially nonprofit housing provider, churches, mosques, that wants to take people off the street, off from tents, out of the code into supportive housing. So that's the 3rd round. Hopefully there will be a 4th round. There's also the Housing Accelerator Funds, which is a combination of mostly grants, and there are billions of dollars in there, and you've seen the housing minister announcing different programs. That one is to encourage municipalities to build faster, build higher, build more housing now. And the City of Toronto has put in an application. We are waiting, hopefully, good news. There's also another program that CMHC, we are hoping that it would immediately provide housing. We are losing each apartment building we build, each unit we build, we lose 14 units of it because of rent, and people are losing their homes through renovation, demolitions. So the housing acquisition funds, which is the multi-res acquisition funds, means that whether it's a city or any nonprofit groups can come in and purchase some of the buildings that are being abandoned or trying to be sold. We could turn those buildings into affordable housing now through cooperatives. Land Trust is immediately getting people affordable housing so they don't have to use food bank immediately tonight. And that program it's demonstrated. It has been done previously by CMHC in the 70s and the 80s. We hope that they would come back to it, and even early 90s. The one other program that the federal government has is called, in Ontario, Canada-Ontario Housing Benefits. Again, there's been investment in it. We hope we can get more for renewal, because that program immediately, tonight, has a rent supplement so that a family of 3, for example, rather than pay, because they wouldn't be able to afford, say, $2,500 for rent for 2 bedrooms, if it's like 3 kids, etc., we can subsidize them a little bit, a supplement of their income, so they could afford to actually move into a home immediately. So that is a housing benefit program that also the federal government has. So I could stand here and talk about housing programs forever, but let us await good news for next week. And hopefully the Housing Accelerator funds that the city have submitted, it will get approved soon.
Next question, question.
These are from Mr. Freeland. So there's a key meeting between the U.S. and China tomorrow at the APEC summit to restore more dialogue. Will Canada be softening its tone toward China at the summit?
Was at the finance minister's portion of the APEC meeting in San Francisco on Sunday and Monday, and I'd like to thank Secretary Yellen for hosting a really constructive meeting. Canada's foreign policy is, of course, independent, and so Canada will be making the right decisions for Canada.
And could you respond in French as well, please?
J'ai eu le privilège de représenter le Canada aux réunions du APEC à San Francisco hier et dimanche, et je voudrais remercier la secrétaire du Trésor Janet Yellen pour nous inviter et faciliter un dialogue très riche et productif pour le Canada. Évidemment, la politique étrangère du Canada est complètement indépendante et on fait les décisions qui sont dans l'intérêt national, l'intérêt de chaque Canadien et Canadienne.
And what did you accomplish with other finance ministers in San Francisco yesterday?
It was a very constructive meeting that Secretary Yellen hosted. I would say some of the top areas where we were able to really make some progress and work together were the green transition. I think we all know of the importance of climate action, and I think we all recognize that this is an issue which is truly a global issue. No one country is going to be able to solve it on its own. We have to solve it working together. And ministers, we were able to share our national experience, but also talk about ways that countries can support each other in climate action. I had a particularly useful bilateral meeting with Sri Mulyani, the finance minister of Indonesia, a country with which Canada works constructively on this issue. The other area that it was really useful to talk about was the global financial environment. Right now, the global economy, I'm going to pause for a minute here. Okay, right now the global economy is still recovering from the unprecedented strain of the COVID pandemic and what followed it. And that includes, as we've heard this morning, unprecedentedly, or interest rates that are very high and that went up very quickly around the world. Okay, it's good to hear and see people doing real jobs, not just talking, so thank you very much. Anyway, these very fast increases in interest rates have imposed strains across the global economy, and it's really important for us to be in touch with each other, to have the lines of communication open as the global economy heals from the pandemic. So that was important too. The one other thing I will say is it was important for me as the Canadian minister present to make very clear Canada's condemnation of Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, and also to make clear that that invasion is imposing that invasion is illegal, it is immoral, it is a breach of the rules-based international order. It is also imposing huge economic costs on the world with high food prices, high energy prices, and it was important for Canada to make our position on that issue clear, and we did. Thanks.
Great. Sorry, and in French, please. Thank
Okay.
you.
OK. On a discuté la transition verte et l'action climatique, évidemment, c'est un enjeu vraiment mondial. Et on doit travailler en étroite collaboration avec tous les pays du monde et c'est ce qu'on a fait. On a aussi discuté la situation financière dans tout le monde, la situation macroéconomique, la Covid et tout ce qu'on a vécu après la Covid, l'inflation, les taux d'intérêt élevés, ont vraiment stressé l'économie mondiale et c'est très important pour les ministres des Finances de partager notre expérience, mais aussi d'être en contact. Et finalement, c'était important pour le Canada de condamner l'invasion illégale de la Russie de l'Ukraine et aussi de souligner les effets économiques qui étaient causés par cette invasion.